Hi everyone, this is Victoria Jane here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'd like to share with you Stamp Club, and it's a beautiful Christmas rose. Now it will come to you in this beautiful envelope, very sturdy for posting, and we'll take it out and we'll show you. Now your dies will come on a sheet of acetate. This has just been put onto a magnetic sheet just so that I can work from this set. So I'm taking it from the sleeve, and obviously they come in a sleeve but on a sheet of acetate, and then they can go in your binders. But I like to remove the plastic so that we don't get too much glare on the camera. Okay, so here we have an absolutely beautiful set. Okay, you have this beautiful Christmas rose stamp there, and we also have this lovely fern branch. I think this could be like snow or little stars, I'm not quite sure, but I think it's like, you know, all the little fluttery snow as it comes down. We have little sentiment stamps. We've got sending, and then we've got your way. We also have Merry Christmas, happiness and joy, this holiday season, may your heart be full of peace and joy, happy holidays, sending warm wishes, happy merry everything, which I absolutely love that. And then we've got peace. We have falling snow here, just like little snowdrops. Then we have this beautiful here, this larger Christmas rose, and we have a smaller Christmas rose here. And then we also have the smaller stamps here that say from our home to yours, and to you and yours. So you've got a really good variety of stamps there. Now we have this die here. So this die cuts out your stamped image there perfectly. So you can stamp directly onto your frame, or you can stamp and cut it out and then place it on your frame to get more layers. So that's an option for you. And it absolutely cuts that out a dream, with a beautiful fine border around the edge. We then have this frame die. So we have the smaller frame here, and that fits perfectly into the center there. Okay, and then we have this larger frame, and then you can cut into that frame with this detail here, and it puts all these little round circles just around the outer of your frame there, on the inner of your frame I should say. Now apart from the frame, which is going to be very handy, you also have some sentiment dies that will cut out these sentiments. Now they don't cut all of them out, but they cut quite a few of them out. We also have the dies here to cut the flowers, and we also have two-sized holly dies, and you even get the berries as well. You get the die that cuts out the peace sentiment, and then you have some larger dies, and you've got Christmas holidays and happy and merry. So it could be Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, Happy Holidays. They're up to you. You can mix and match them as you want to. So those are the sets. So if I can bring that closer to, maybe you can see that better. And these are the beautiful stamps. Okay, so I'm going to put these to one side, and I'm going to show you what I've been up to, and then we'll put one together. Now I've gone ahead and I've done bits and pieces beforehand, as I always do, because I don't want to bore you to tears, but I like to get on and show you what we can make. So first of all, I decided to make this card here, and we've gone with the beautiful rich reds, and this is a gorgeous Christmas rose there. And I've coloured this with the Tonic Studios alcohol pens, and they are our newer pens. So we've used these, the fresh watermelon, which is 377, And then we've gone in with some darker tones. We've gone with the Nouveau, and it was the 381 Black Cherry. So we've used that one. We've also used 379, which is the Strawberry Jam. Okay. And then for the greens, we have actually used the 410, the 416, and the 4... I think we've used a bit of the 417, just a little bit, because that's the darker tone. So we've used the green pens in here as well. I've used a white gel pen, and I've gone in with a little bit of white when it's all dry and finished. And I've just done the 3 little dots together just to look like a little snowdrift there, because I was using the textured Craft Perfect card, so I didn't want to heat emboss onto that. And then we've added Sending Warm Wishes down at the bottom. Now these are the dies that come in your set, and this larger set here is, I can't actually remember the name of the set, but when I do, I'll put it in the descriptions. It's Memory Book 2, but it's not the Memory Book dies. It was a decorative set that we brought out quite some time ago now, and those sets actually go with Memory Book 2, and it was one of the frames from that, and I just thought it was perfect with these scallop corners coming out at each corner. So we've gone ahead there and we've used that for the base card, and we've just cut 2 the same size, and we've put a 1/2 inch score line across the back to create the actual card blank there. Okay, and we've used the 3 shades of green there just to get a little bit of depth and dimension there to the card. So that's one card that we've created. And then I decided to create this box, and it's just a box made on my scoreboard. I've used that fern stamp and stamped in the Hybrid Safari green from Nouveau, and then I've coloured this image in here with our brand new pencils. Okay, so when we had our birthday event, we had these Hair and Skin Tones highly pigmented classic colour pencils. Each set contains 12 pencils, and we also used the Brilliantly Vibrant. So that is what I've used to colour in this image, and we've gone with a couple of shades of the pinks. We've gone with some greens, some limey light greens. We've used a yellow as well, and that's how we've coloured that in, and we've just added layer and layer and layer of colour until I was happy with the finish. And then we've heat embossed this Merry Christmas onto black card here, and we've used the white Nouveau embossing powder, and we also used the Clear Mark Nouveau embossing pad, ink pad, and then to stamp the actual image itself, we've used the Black Shadow Nouveau Hybrid ink. Okay, so we open the box. We've done a fern stamp all the way around the edge, and then when we open the box, I decided to create some tags. So we'll move those pencils out of the way. So here we have the Happy Holidays there, which is the die sets that you get. We've used that fern just to the corner elements, and then we've die cut one of those beautiful Christmas roses, and that's the larger one of the two, and we just place that on opposite corners. So these are going to be gift tags, you know, for all those beautiful presents that you're going to be sending out. Here we've used those same pencils that I've just shown you a moment ago, and I've heat embossed with white embossing powder, and I've coloured in with those pencils, and I've just kept layering and layering and layering the colour until I was happy with the colour there. And then we've used that little peace sentiment there. Here we've used the holly that is in the die set, and you get that larger piece of holly with the berries. We've put on opposite corners, and then we've used the Happy Holidays and we've layered it. So there's about 5 or 6 layers there, so they're like chipboard letters. And we've used that beautiful frame, we've cut it out, and then we've gone in there with the Midas Touch the Aquaflow glittery pen there, and we've just added a little bit of sparkle to the berries. And then last but not least, we've made another tag here, and we've used the snowfall stamp that's in the stamp set. We've used the fern here, and we've heat embossed in gold embossing powder, which is Nouveau. And then we've used the beautiful Craft Perfect, and we've used the gold glitter card there for the Merry Christmas. We've used gold mosaic underneath this white layer here, which is also Craft Perfect. And then we've put that onto navy cardstock. And there's another tag. So they were all kind of colour coordinated to go with the box. So we've kind of gone one green, one navy, and then that one there which matches the top of the box there. So that would make a beautiful gift for somebody. You could put cards in there or gift tags. So those are the things that we've already made. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a card. Now I have a white 5x7 card blank, and I've already stamped across the bottom here, happy, merry, everything. And I absolutely love that sentiment. Again, it's a 5x7 card. We've put a 1/2 inch score line across the back to make the card blank itself. Okay, so that's going to be my base layer. I've then cut the largest die in your set with this beautiful mauve, and that is going to go at an angle there on the card. We've then cut one with the detail and put the little dots in, and that is also going to go at an angle there. So if you're not one that likes angles, maybe you're not going to like this card, but I quite like it to be a bit quirky every now and again. We've then used the light grey Craft Perfect, and I've actually used the smoother side, not the textured side, and I've embossed using that beautiful little snowfall stamp there. And we've used our Nouveau hybrid clear marking pad, okay, and then we've sprinkled with white embossing powder, and we've heat set it with a heat gun. So that is going to go onto there. And then if you have something similar to this, like a tag, a round tag or an oval tag, any kind of tag shape, I thought that looked like a Christmas bauble. So I've die cut myself 2 of those in white, and I've stamped the smaller Christmas rose on there, and I've coloured it in with different coloured alcohol pens from our newer range, and I've threaded a piece of ribbon through the back there, and that's going to be placed on the card, and we'll tuck it in at the back so it's neat and tidy. Got one here partially coloured in, so we're going to finish that off, and that's also going to go on the card with a bow, with some ribbon, and we'll put that together. Now, the colour pens that I've used, we have used 437 Spring Lilac, so that's the lighter shade. We've then used 439, which is Sugar Plum, and the darkest tone is 441, which is Blackcurrant Tart. So that is the darkest layer I've added to the around the centre there. And to get the lime green in the centre, we've used 410, which is Parisian Lime. Okay, so we've got 4 pens there that we've used to colour in. So I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm going to put this card together. So I'm going to have this layer flat. So I am going to use my wet adhesive. So I'm just going to place some wet adhesive there on the back. Okay. And I'm going to put that at a squiffy angle there. I don't often do squiffy angles, but I felt like something different today, and I felt like a different colour as well. And this isn't a colour I use an awful lot, But I don't know, I had it in mind, and I had to go with the flow. So I'm going to show you how I've done this. For anyone that's, I always have to remember about people are only just starting out on their craft journey, and although, you know, we've been doing this quite some time, you know, not everybody has. So forgive me if you're a very, very well advanced crafter, but you know, we have to cater for everybody. So I'm just going to stick that stamp onto my acrylic block, okay, and then when you do that, apply your clear mark ink. Take your ink pad to the stamp. Don't take your stamp to the ink pad, because you'll get lots of ink where you don't need it. So you just want to gentle tap, okay, gentle tap. And I want to make sure I've got a scrap piece of card to hand as well. So hang on a mo. Right, because we want to collect our embossing powder. So gentle taps, and then this is the smoother side of the card, and I've just inked that there. So I'm doing that, I'm doing you what I've told you not to do. So stamp, gentle tapping, and then bring that down there. It will be hard to see, so we'll just gentle tap now till we've covered that card. There we go. So gentle tap. There we go. I don't want to dawdle too much because I don't want the embossing powder to dry. Okay. And you could have wiped the card with an anti-static bag first if you wanted to, but I know this card hasn't been anywhere sticky. So I'm going to place my card in there, and then I'm going to sprinkle with white embossing powder, and it doesn't matter how much I put on because I'm going to tap the excess off there. There we go, get rid of that bit. Okay, put the excess back into the pot, and remember to put the lid on before you put any fans on. And then we're going to heat set this. We've already got one done, but I just wanted to show you, so please excuse the noise. And you'll see it turn a shiny white when it's reached the temperature, bearing in mind. There, can you see that now? You see it turning. It does get warm, so use a pair of tweezers if you're not comfortable holding it. There we go. I can hear myself think now. So there you get that snowy snowfall there. So we've got one here that's done and cooled. So I'm going to put foam pads onto the reverse of here. So this is a really simple, clean looking card. Not fussy, not lots of frill, easy to batch make. You could sit and colour one afternoon and colour a pile of baubles in. So let's place him down there, and then I'm going to put some foam pads onto the back. So remove the debris and get one more there. There we go. And before I do that, I am going to wrap my ribbon, which I should have done first, around the back there. Okay, so I'm just going to trim that ribbon off. And just so I know, for peace of mind, that that ribbon isn't going anywhere, because I should have done that before I put the foam pads on. He's not going to go anywhere now because he is taped well and truly down. So excuse me if I'm off camera for a minute whilst I take that backing off. So I would glue your ribbon down before you put the foam pads on. Okay, so mine is going to go there. So I'm going to put a foam pad underneath that bauble there. Okay, I think it's going to be do as I say, not what I do, one of these videos. So get a foam pad and put that one on there. Okay, right. Woo! Don't go down there. Right, so we want you pretty much there. Okay. And then our other bauble's going to stick here. So we'll leave that there until we've coloured this other bauble in. Okay. So, put this to one side. Now then, I'm going to bring that card back so that I don't colour my desk. And basically I'm going to use these shades now, and I'm going to go in with the lightest shade, so that's 437 Spring Lilac. Okay, and I'm colouring in all of the petal. Okay, and there's nothing difficult about this, so if you're not a colourist, don't you be worried, because you know this is just your lightest shade down first. And just take your time. You'll take a lot more time than me. Okay. So just take your time so you don't go outside the lines. And you want to colour all of that in apart from the centre. Okay. And that's your lightest shade. I then go in with my darkest shade from that centre around the edge out, and I just add a tiny bit, as you'd imagine the centres to be darker, and that's all I do there with the darkest colour. Then I go in with the 439, which is the Sugar Plum, and then I try and blend that darkest line out ever so carefully. And then I will go back in with the lightest shade again, that 437. And then I blend that line out. And I go back over where I've already coloured, leaving this edge here, the lighter. So I won't go back in there again, because I want that to be a lighter shade. But I'm just going from that, where that colour finished, to that line there. Again, missing this part here because I want that to be light. And you can keep going in and adding a little bit of colour. Let it dry and go back in and add a little bit more colour if you want to. Okay, now I'm going to leave that at that. And then I'm going to go in with my green and just add that pop of colour in the middle. And that's all I'm going to do. Nothing fancy, nothing frilly. Okay, I'm then going to get my tweezers. I'm going to push this lilac ribbon, the very pale lilac, kind of like an off-white, but I thought it was perfect for this. And I am going to glue down, tape down I should say, that ribbon so it doesn't go anywhere. Trim the end off. And then I'm going to take the backing off there. I'm also going to put a foam pad on the back. Okay. And I'm going to get myself another little piece of tape. And I'm only doing this because I put my foam pads on first. Okay. So I'm going to bring that topper back in. I'm going to decide where I want this one. Okay. So I'd say I probably want that one about there. So make sure he's straight there. And take your ribbon over. And I'm going to put that on there to secure it, just to be sure it doesn't shift. Okay. And then I'm going to trim that off. And then I'm going to take that backing off so that when I've placed it down, it is well and truly stuck. Come on, Mr. Tape. There we go. So you could put the ribbon on before you stick this grey layer down if you prefer that, or you can wrap this as I've done, but do it before you put the foam pads on. Okay. And then we're going to put this also at an angle. And then I'm going to add my little bow on. So I'll just put my heat gun on. I'll just let that heat up. There we go. So whilst that heat gun is heating up, I'll show you again the samples made. So again, like I said, this is alcohol markers. I actually did go into the centre of the flowers here with the pencils. Don't be afraid to add pencil over alcohol pens. So I've gone into, let me see which set it was now. Not that one. This set. So it's the hair and skin tones I've gone into. And I've used that really rich tone there, Pinot. So that's the colour I've gone in the centre here. But it was well and truly after the alcohol pens had dried, I went in with that. And then I actually went in with these greens from your Vibrant set. So these are the pens that launched in the birthday event, and I've just gone over the top of alcohol pens with that. This one is purely the pencils, and they're just layer and layer and layer until I got the tone I was looking for. And this box, I think the card measured 7.5 inches by 6.5 inches, and then it was placed on a scoreboard, like a box making board, and it's 1 inch all round. And obviously if you're using a box making board, it takes the measurement into account so it fits neat together. And then we've made this tag here, the glitter card, all Tonic. We've used the pencils on this one here on navy, and who would have thought that that would pop so much on navy, but I really like that. I've never actually coloured on dark card before, but I was very impressed with that. And then here we've got like the chipboard letters on a tag here, really festive. And then we've got like a classic Merry Christmas there, using the stamp that we've just used. So we'll put those back in there. and put the lid back on. So if you're not very confident in making your own boxes that fit, I would recommend buying yourself a box making scoreboard, because you've got measurements for the lid on one side and measurements for the box on the right side, and you always start off with your base card and the lid card being exactly the same size. So both pieces of card are the same size. It's just when you score on one side of the board to the other, it takes that tiny little measurement into account. So if you're not very confident in making boxes, that's an easier way of making a box. Okay, so I think our heat gun is well and truly warmed up, so I will add this little bow. But really, these new pencils are wonderful, really easy to use, very creamy. The colour lays down really well. Right, so we'll add a tiny little bit of glue there to the back of our bow. Switch that off and then place that to the top of our bauble. And that is our card done. But I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of twinkle, and I'm going to add a little bit of Midas Touch just to the centre of those petals. Make sure my pen's flowing. There we go. So just to the centres. We like a little bit of sparkle at Christmas, don't we? One time of the year we can absolutely go to town and get away with it. There we go. Have we got any there? Yeah, don't forget that one under there. So it just adds that tiny, tiny bit of sparkle. And there is a very, very simple but elegant Christmas card that anybody could make, from advanced to beginner and to somebody that's never even picked up a piece of card before and thought, where do I start? I want to make my own cards. I always tend to use 3 tonal pens. I always go in with the lightest shade first. And me personally, I always go for the darker shade next, blend out with the mid-tone, go back in with the lighter tone. But it's completely up to you. It's however you craft. And the most important thing is have lots of fun, because that's what crafting's all about. It's about making lots of friends and enjoying yourself. And what better way than to make your own Christmas cards, your own tags. You're going to have so much fun. So I'd just like to say thanks so much today for joining me. It's always lovely to have your company, and it's always lovely to see familiar faces pop up and say hello. And if at all that you want to buy this set, I will have my affiliated links in the descriptions below. They're available from Tonic direct as well. If you don't want to go through my links, that's absolutely fine. And yeah, just if you're not a subscriber, hit that subscribe button. You'll be alerted to any future videos from myself. And take care of yourselves, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.